Hey y'all, I'm in the shop. It's Thursday afternoon. I finally got all the parts in to reassemble the 4L60 underneath BALLIN and throw the cam in the 5.3. It's just kind of been sitting off in the corner. We're gonna throw a cam 5.3 with a little stall and rebuild the 4L60 to go in BALLIN. It's my buddy's 05 Silverado that we've done the front suspension on. Freaking caliper's already rusted. I'm gonna paint them, but the frame's all nice and black. Got 4-inch drop lower control arms on it. Those things are gorgeous. The same 5100 series Bilsteins that I have on RCSV project, and I'm gonna do a cam swap. So I'm already started. I'm not gonna just do the whole like this is how you build a motor thing, because they got plenty of channels that do it, and I'm just gonna swap the cam out. So this is where I'm at with it. It's disassembled. And I'm right here where you spin the cam and it shoots the lifters into the galleys and you shove the rods in. I have the rods. I'm gonna put them in there anyway, but I figured my buddy Charlie had a great idea. Since it's on a flip stand, just do it upside down and the lifters will stay in the trays. Gravity won't pull them back down, so that's what we're gonna do. Check. There it is, the little tripod next to the pre-runner project. Some 35 1050s on some 17x9s and some fiberglass fenders. As soon as I get done painting RCSB, I'm throwing a crate motor in that truck. So let me put y'all on a tripod and I'm gonna get to work. So for my cam plate, I got a new cam plate. I just left the bolts in so I know where they go. And the timing chain had a little slack in it. I was not impressed with the timing chain, so we're gonna throw a new chain on it when I do the cam swap. And we'll just throw the gear back on it, so we have a little leverage that we can spin it with. So you spin the cam. I already have the rockers removed and push rods out. So you're gonna go ahead and spin the cam to throw the lifters up in the lifter trays. When you don't hear any more noise, they're in there. You pull the sprocket back off, slide your dowel pins in so they don't fall back in. Well, that's why we're upside down. My buddy Charlie had a great idea. He said, you're on a flip stand, you might as well just do it upside down, flipped. Yeah, no more resistance. So what that does is it throws the lifters up into the lifter trays. If you're doing this in a car, you definitely need the rods. But I'm going to use the rods to check and see if they're all the way out. Cam's already starting to try to come out on me. 5/16 dowel rods. These are 4-footers. That's all they had at the hardware store. Make sure there's no shmoo on them. Engine's got enough shmoo in it. And if this slides all the way in, first try, no problem. Yeah, straight to the back of the engine. Let's see if this one goes in the same length. Yeah, we are equal. Bottomed out in the back of the engine. And those lifters are all the way in the trays, which means now you can slide the cam out. You use a long bolt, that way you got leverage. That's what I'm used to put it back in with, but it'll be nice and easy so I don't damage the bushings. The bushings always look horrible, but they're fine. Kind of twist it out the way. This one's tight. There we go. There we go. Just give it a little leverage. You don't want to pull the cam bearing out while you're pulling the cam out. A little wiggle, a little pull. And we are almost there. There we go. Not scored. Barely any tracking on it. This engine is supposed to have around 150,000 miles, and I believe it. It just looked like they used poor quality oil in it. That's why everything's kind of black and sooted up. But here's our cam. So here's the stock cam. That's an exhaust I built 20 years ago for my 1970 Cutlass leaning up against the tree. And here's the cam I purchased. Slightly used, about 300 miles. In a Ford Performance Controls wire pack harness bag. But you can tell it's got hardly any wear on it. The guy I got it from says this is a BTR truck Norris cam. Only gave him like 200 bucks because it's used. You could tell it's just barely used, but it's got no numbers and no inscriptions on it. But straight away, comparing it to the other cam, help if I do the right direction. My lobes are all pointing the same directions. You know, these are pointed up, These are pointed to me. These are pointed up. These are both pointed down. So yeah, it's an LS camshaft. And the lobes, see if I can show y'all. The lobes are wider. They're not so pointed. So it's going to hold the valve open a little longer. And I believe him when he tells me it's a Norris BTR. You see right there, that's kind of a peaky lobe. And this one's a wide flat lobe. It's going to hold that valve open longer than it's supposed to. And so there's no numbers on the back. I can't see anything from it. It looks worse than the stock cam. Or the stock cam looks worse than this one. We're going to go ahead and throw this in there and see if we can get a little chop out of this motor. Maybe about 40 horsepower, 40 torque, something like that. It'll make this truck move like my regular cab, except it's just got a stock 5.3. This was supposed to go in the RCSB project, but my son just kind of said, you know what, dude, I'm going in the Navy. I'm not going to have time to drive it or enjoy it or anything, so why don't you just build it and sell it, and we'll build something else when I get out. I can respect that. So he wants an OBS instead of a GMT 800, he wants a GMT 400. Something later on down the road, we'll tackle that when it comes to us. He might just start sending me money and I just start building it, you know, kind of communicating back and forth while he's going around the world in a submarine. That's pretty freaking cool. I'll just build the truck to his spec, and when he gets out, it's done. Here is the BTR truck Norris NSR cam, because we're not going to do springs on this engine. NSR is no springs required. I'm going to lube it up with some Lucas assembly lube, semi-synthetic. And the oil we're going with is semi-synthetic. I'm going to run some Valvoline with some transmission fluid and try to clean this thing up, because it's just got that caked on. I ain't never seen one burnt like this. It's like it was overheated or something, but it ran when they pulled it out, and it ran good. It didn't smoke. It had mismatched spark plugs in it and everything else, but we're going to give it a new, better life in Project BALLIN behind me. And we'll go ahead and throw some paint on this one. It's already got the drop on it. I'm going to build a strong little 4L60 for it, and we're going to swap in a Cam 5.3, and hopefully we can make it at Scraping the Coast this year. Let's throw a stick in this motor. That way I can yank the 4.8 out and put the 5.3 back in. The GoPro didn't record us, but went ahead and pulled the rods up because the engine's upside down. The lifters can't fall up. Especially with that, the rocker arms and the push rods in there. Got my new cam. I installed a transmission bolt backwards because it's 8mm on one side and 10 on the other. That way I can have a little leverage when I go to stick the stick in it. And the cam bearings are actually silver and smooth. They don't look tore up like they usually look. Like everyone's got, oh man, they changed the cam bearings. Like, you're not supposed to look at that. You're supposed to just put the cam in and send it. The other cam was very, very tight coming out. And as I go in with it, I'll just put more. That's why people wear gloves, except I can't feel anything when I wear gloves. So I don't wear gloves, but this is why people wear gloves. All right, let's go. I'm gonna get to that lube there. Carefully. Carefuling's a thing. We all say it. Squirt a little more schmoo on here. Not getting into the technicalities of it, but lube is good. So I'm gonna get all the lubes, all the bearing. When it's rolling around in there, it's good to go. But if you got an engine on a flip stand, I highly recommend just putting the sucker in backwards. Makes it easy. All right. One more to go. This is where this bolt helps to get you the leverage to line it up on the back. There it is. Back cam bearing. Up in the back a little bit. There it goes. And we got a cam in, y'all. With Slimer on it. I wonder if they made it green on purpose like that. This one rolls a whole lot easier than that stock one did. Yeah, slides in and out nice and easy. Cool. So upside down on an engine stand is definitely the easier way to leave the heads on and not have to worry about dowel pinning the lifters. So we got a brand new timing set. The teeth on the sprocket don't look bad at all. So we got us a new chain, new cam gear, and a new crank sprocket. So on a crank sprocket, there's a dot. If y'all can see the dot. And there's another one on the cam sprocket. On the cam sprocket, there's another dot. There's your dot. So pretty much you just want to take and, where's it at? Align your dots. Make them point to each other. Come on, dude. It's on there. There it is. So you want them to look like that in the motor with the two dots pointing up. And that's how we're going to put it in. There's really no wear on this thing. If it'll come off easy, I'll change it. If not, I'm gonna send it with that one on there. It also matches the oil pump. This engine had good oil pressure. I'm not gonna pry. Now it's set to the oil pump. I'm gonna use the same oil pump. Should probably change it, but had good oil pressure. So we'll just put it back together how it was. So I'll save this for something else in case I need it. Back in the plastic. Might need it on the crate motor that I'm putting in the other trucks. I don't know yet. But I'll definitely reuse the cam or use the new cam sprocket. I'm gonna go ahead and install the new cam plate. Oh, he's got the cam plate. That's why I can't find it. All right, y'all, I'm holding up $1. My buddy, he's got the gasket set he's coming over with, and the cam plate's in the gasket set. So I'm just at a standstill for a minute. I can't put the gear on until I put the plate on. You always want to change the plate because the little orange rubber seal, it gets flat after a while. And this is if you got low oil pressure. If it's not the O-ring on the pickup tube, it's this cam plate gasket back here failed on you. And what's happening is the oil is just squirting all over the place, and you can't tell because it's not leaking, but it's just squirting all over the place. So, all right, I'm gonna wait for the cam plate to show up. I'll just clean this up a little bit and wait to put the timing chain and all that on. He should be here in about 20 minutes. My cam plate has hex, and this cam plate has Allen head. But the rubber thing's nice and high. And you gotta torque it anyway. Because this cam plate's recessed, I'm gonna go ahead and use the new hardware. And I'll go break out my torque wrench, make sure they're all torqued. There's probably a little thread locker on them. I think there's something to do. Get some blue and a torque wrench. Summit Racing says 18 foot-pounds for the standard bolts, and for the countersunk Torx or hex head bolts, which is what I have, 11 foot-pounds. So let's go ahead and zip these in at 11 foot-pounds. The only Loctite I could find is red. I just really wanted to use blue, so I'm not going to use it how you're supposed to. I'm just going to put it on and put it in wet. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the tip and let that be thread locker enough. Y'all, I'm almost at 1,500 subscribers. That's I never thought I'd come this far. This is awesome. I appreciate y'all watching and hanging out. Like I said, one day I'll have my stuff together and you know, I'll be able to build really nice stuff instead of just putting junkyard stuff together. But it's kind of interesting, you know. We got a junkyard 5.3 for $600, 150,000 miles, and the cam bearings look good. The connecting rods have no slack in them. I mean, yeah, it looks a little burnt, but you know, if it works, it works. So I haven't put a video out lately just because I've had 2 graduate at the same time. So that means I'm saying Charcoal, he's joined the Navy, and he just graduated high school. And my little son, Harrison, he just graduated 3rd grade, moving on to middle school. So I've been kind of busy going to all these graduations and haven't had a chance to edit any videos. Been steady getting stuff done out here, and I didn't want to be redundant in my videos because I haven't been doing this too long, and there's only so many ways you can do a front suspension drop on the GMT 800. So I didn't record the one I did on BALLIN, but I did record. Yeah, this must be the standard version of the metric or something because it's lodging in there. Let me try my other stuff. No, it says what it is on it. Really, really small. 3/16. 5 millimeter. No bueno. So let's try the 3/16 and see if it gets stuck. And I just go around. Yeah, comes right out. So 3/16, y'all. All right, thread locked, tightened to or torqued to 11 foot-pounds. Now we can put the cam gear and the chain on. All right, so with the point holding up, damn, I almost guessed the cam position pretty close. Check that out. So I'm gonna rotate the cam so it's pointing straight up, right to the crank. Now I'll go ahead and hang it on there. We just put the bolts in and torque those down. So I'm gonna check the torque specs on those next. So here we are, it's the next day, we're back in the shop, and if you notice, the heads are off because Sorry about that, GoPro died. So, the engine here, once I did the cam, I noticed over here, I've already WD'd it and cleaned it up a little bit. There was some rust sitting in cylinder 3. And the engine smells like pee, like a cat box. And when the engine's overheated, it gets that smell in the antifreeze when it sits for a while. I also noticed in the cam, in the factory cam, there's a nick right there. And the top of this lobe doesn't look too healthy. It's got a little flat spot in it. And I think there was one more. This one's got a little. So I called my buddy B and I said, hey man, come over and check this out. I put the cam in, but I wasn't sure about running the lifters with the cam looking like that. It might have been the start of something bad. So we went and pulled the heads, and good thing we did because I found rust in number 3. The engine's dirty as hell anyway, so we're gonna send the heads off and get them deck 30,000s, which, hey, more compression. So we'll get a little bit more power out of it. The cam will work a little bit better. The 5.3 will be a little more peppy, kind of exactly what he's looking for. And this is gonna be on the back burner for a minute. So I'll go ahead and cover this back up because it's an overcast, funky day outside. It's not gonna rain, but the humidity is just way up. I'll cover this back up and I'm gonna go and start on the transmission. Those parts showed up. I'm not gonna do a whole, this is how I build the transmission thing. I've done plenty of that. There's lots of 4L60 videos on my channel. I haven't really gotten any better as far as what the ATSG manual says what to do. So going through the cases here, and I got this gutted out. I'm gonna take out the bonded pistons and change them out with new ones. Restack all the clutches. We're not doing anything crazy in this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the inside. The planetary is nice and tight. There's really not a whole lot of slack in it. And I have a aftermarket valve body from Sonax with all the updated stuff. And we have a 2400 stall converter to match the cam. And that transmission had over 360 something thousand miles. And this is the overdrive clutch. But this is the other overdrive clutch. Like this one looks plenty reusable. This one, not so much. So that's where the heat and the slip was coming from. And also the teeth on the overdrive clutches. I mean, I'm about to show you all that. The teeth right there on the forward clutches. It's about half the teeth of what they're supposed to have. They're supposed to be about a 1/2 inch wide, and those are about a 1/4 inch wide. So it was popping in and out and, you know, doing its thing and trying to dissolve itself. But we caught it in time to where it's not a whole big mess. I'm going to put the aftermarket valve body in, stack the clutches in it, and we'll put it back in the truck. The reason we got to all this point is, yeah, the truck's got 300 something thousand miles on it. And under here, let me show you. Let me click this on. That'll help. It had a flywheel. The engine had a bad noise. And come to find out, it's this flywheel. This thing is cracked in 3 places. Now, in a pinch, knocking stuff over. In a pinch, he went and rebuilt that 4.8 in his driveway. Did a head job, cleaned it up with a zip tool, and it ran. Got him to and from work and did what it had to do. It smoked a little bit. It's got some blow by, so it's got some age on it also. 4.8's coming out. The freshened up 5.3 is going in with a a rebuilt super tight transmission with a brand new updated valve body. All new clutches, seals, you name it. So it's going to be a tight 4L60 behind a 5.3 with a BTR truck Norris cam, NSR cam, no springs required, and decked heads. Thing ought to make a little bit of power, somewhere in a 360 range, right down the street pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and stack what I need to stack in the transmission. If I find anything, I'll let y'all know about it that's out of the ordinary. Otherwise, I got plenty content on transmission rebuilding. We'll get back to the motor once the heads get back. That's pretty much all I got for this week. Just trying to get content out. It's been 2 weeks since I did the last one. I've had 2 graduates. Like I said earlier, the 3rd grader is moving on to 4th grade. That was a graduation, and the 12th grader is moving on to the Navy. That's another graduation. So I've been out of pocket for 2 weeks, just trying to do what I can. Really haven't had time to edit anything or really do anything. So we got Scraping the Coast coming up. I'm trying to get Ballin ready to go. We'll be in a gangsta burb. I'm gonna try to get the body work done on this. Like I said, only got 4 weeks and it's just me. RCSB might make it to, well, will make it to Cruising the Coast, but I don't know if it's gonna make it to Scraping. I might just throw it on the trailer to drag it out there behind a gangsta burb and show it off. Appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna do what I can to try to get more videos put out. Catch y'all next week. Later.